This is Cam Collier, and you're watching the Moneyball Show.
Tell me the best prank anybody's ever played on another guy at say even on the bus or whenever. Give me a prank that worked.
Prank. Okay. So our catcher, I mean, I feel like it's a known rule. Like when we're going on to a long road trip in the bus, like let's not go poop in the bathroom.
Yeah.
But one of the guys,
This is good stuff, man. This is
yeah, our catcher, he got his Mac charger, and it's pretty thick, so he wrapped it around the seat and the door handle so that he couldn't get out of the bathroom. And he was stuck in there. I don't even know for how long, probably like 30, 45 minutes. He's stuck in the bathroom. Yeah, that was probably the best one.
That's phenomenal. That's phenomenal.
Jacob! Don't put him away! Go!
All right, Moneyball fam, I am excited today to have Los Angeles Dodgers fourth round draft pick 2024 Mr. Jakob Wright. How are you, my man?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for joining Moneyball today. Really excited to have a lot of these, as I was just telling Jacob before we started, really excited to have a lot of these up and coming prospects on the show. Gives me goosebumps, man, just to think that, I could be one of the first to have one of these future superstars on. Tell me a little bit about how it did feel, I guess, to get drafted when you did see and hear your name. Fourth round is an early pick, man. Were you expecting it that early?
So kind of going into the year before, I had no idea where I was going to get drafted or even if I would get drafted at all. Going into that next offseason into my draft year, it was kind of like a little bit of an unknown. Getting that call it's every little kid's dream playing baseball to get drafted, and having all my family around just made it that much more special. But I didn't really expect to get drafted as high as I did, and so it's just a blessing really, and I just thank my support system around me.
No, that's cool, man. So what were you guys doing when you did see it? So I love hearing these stories because a couple of you guys told me that literally they saw their name scrolling and that's how they knew they were drafted. And I do a lot of hockey draft picks too, and it's the same thing. Like they legit didn't get a call and they saw their name. Did you get a call from the Dodgers or how'd it work?
Yeah, so I got a call from my agent like a few picks before, maybe like 10 picks before. And then I got a call from the area scout right after. I kind of knew when my name would pop up, so I got off the phone, told my family, hey, it's going to be a few picks away. And then I grew up a Dodgers fan too, so I never.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, so that's my hometown team. Always was a Dodger fan. So, I didn't want to tell them it was the Dodgers, so when it came on the screen, it was kind of a surprise for them. And yeah,
that's cool. That's cool doing it that way, man. Because so like your pops and your family, they're all Dodgers fans.
Yeah, everybody, my whole family.
Oh man, so they must have went crazy.
Yeah, they loved it. They all thought it was a dream too, because now they got a family member on the Dodgers. So
and there's nothing like it. It's like, listen, me and my family are huge Braves fans, and if one day I hear my son, which I have 3 little boys, so if one day I hear any of the Scott boys, drafted by the Braves, you best believe there'll be some screaming over here too, brother.
Yeah.
So fourth round pick is a high pick.
It's kind of I feel like the draft isn't really. It's cool. Don't get me wrong; it's a dream come true, but we're all trying to get to the big leagues, man. So it doesn't really matter if you're drafted first round.
The draft is a gate. No, the draft is a gateway. The draft gets you in, and that's a great point. It's a nice thing about being drafted, and honestly, being drafted as high as you were, bro, is you are an investment for the Dodgers now.
Yeah.
So the foot's in the door. Now you can go show and prove. You can go to Arizona. You can go show them what you have. I've seen a little bit of your stuff, man. Southpaw with a wicked slider. I think with a new age of pitching, with all the young bucks, man, all the young blood coming up, I think you guys can almost create new pitches though, which is kind of cool. Let's be honest. A pitch is all about where you hold the ball and how you're able to throw it. You know what I'm saying?
And the technology we have now is every throw we make, we can go back, slow mo it, and see what we did right or wrong. So now it's a lot easier to customize pitches for your arsenal and kind of blend pitches together, fill in velo gaps and stuff like that. So it's definitely a whole new world in pro ball.
It's intense. Can you imagine, in the 60s, Nolan Ryan, who obviously the name Nolan Ryan and how big of a pitcher that guy was. And that guy was throwing flamethrower, dude, in the 60s. They say he hit 103 because the radar guns were different. They didn't really come out until
I heard 108. So.
108? Okay, so maybe 108, right? But that guy was just a Martian. And, now I think, and actually, I want your opinion on this. A guy throws 90 or 92, for his fastball. That's ridiculously fast, right? That's a wicked fastball. And you'll hear, oh, he needs to tick it up a few, right? Like it's not good enough. Do you think there's a little too much emphasis put on the actual velocity?
Well, I mean, the game is ever changing. And if you look at the big leagues right now, I mean, probably the average fastball is around 94, 95. So if you're just going based on the average, like a 92-mile-an-hour fastball is now like below average.
So agreed. But I guess what I'm asking is, what if you threw, there's the Greg Maddoxes, right?
Yeah.
Who I grew up watching, who was phenomenal. That dude, his fastball was maybe 88 miles an hour, but that guy was one of the best pitchers ever. He had an arsenal of pitches. So I guess I worded that wrong. Too much emphasis being, you think you can get away, with less velocity if you come up with other ways to pitch, right? Other pitches.
100%. I mean, that's the great thing about pitching. There's different ways to skin the cat. So you don't have to throw.
I love that you just said that, man. That's actually one of my sayings. I love it. Keep going.
You don't have to throw 100. You don't have to have the best stuff. You just have to know how to pitch up, out, and down. It's just how you do it and how you execute your game plan. Yeah. But the stuff does make it a little easier to execute a game plan. You can miss a little bit, but I mean, there's always a way to do it. You're never out of the game.
I mean, if they can't hit you, right, that kind of eliminates the need for any. If they can't hit you, you're too fast. But I think though, there's some guys creatively, right? If you come up with this pitch or this pitch and you're able to just cross people up, right? Where 78, you throw something in. Let me give you an example. Spencer Strider, right? Big fan of Spencer Strider. We all know he's got crazy velocity. The guy throws 100 miles an hour. In my opinion, the way he hurt himself last year, and I watched him in spring training. I went down, I followed, I was with the Braves for a few days. And he was trying out a new pitch, man, and it was like 78 miles an hour. So it was a change, but it
curveball, right?
Yeah. Well, it was like a curve. It was weird. It wasn't a straight up curve. And that's what I asked you about earlier with different pitches. But in my opinion, Jacob, I think that's how he hurt himself, was he was trying to not throw his heat all the time. And I watched a game where the first 2 innings in spring training, he topped out at 79. So he just kept trying to throw this pitch, and it was working. He was still striking guys out because I'm sure everybody who went to the plate was thinking that Spencer Strider was going to,
Yeah, here comes 100.
Here comes 100, and they were seeing 78. So do you think that sometimes guys, will change their pitching styles based on what people are expecting?
100%. It's a game of adaptation. So, I mean, if you face a team one night, you're not going to throw the same game plan at them the next night. Or, I mean, you might based on how they did against it, but
yeah. It's a lot to do with it, right?
Yeah, 100%. Who's in the lineup? What's the situation? All that stuff.
So Cal Poly, you did pretty well there, man. I think you turned a lot of heads, and obviously that's what got scouts looking at you and got you rolling. Tell me about the camaraderie and the brotherhood there, man. Like, tell me about the crew and just how that was playing with those guys.
Yeah, man, it was a great time, on the bus, all that stuff. I mean, what everyone talks about, like just it's not even like the baseball really. It's just like more of like the bus rides, the hotel trips, stuff like that, So, and me and Brooks were always roommates in the hotel, so it was always a good time. Every single road trip. I mean, if one of us did bad, like the other one would like pick them up, just give them some time for a day, they'll be all right.
Or razz them, right? The other way, razz them a little bit.
Yeah.
Tell me the best prank anybody's ever played on another guy at say even on the bus or whenever. Give me a prank that.
Prank. Okay. So our catcher. I mean, I feel like it's a known rule. Like when we're going on to a long road trip in the bus, like let's not go poop in the bathroom.
Yeah.
But one of the guys,
this is good stuff, man. This is
our catcher. He got his Mac charger. And it's pretty thick, so he wrapped it around the seat and the door handle so that he couldn't get out of the bathroom. And he was stuck in there. I don't even know for how long, probably like 30, 45 minutes. He's stuck in the bathroom. Yeah, that was probably the best one.
That's phenomenal. And that's the type of stuff, man, and it brings people closer. If you're not able to screw around with somebody, and there's always that one guy I feel like on the team where, you can't screw around with them. You know what I mean?
Funny enough, it's always that dude that gets messed with the most.
Exactly. It's always that guy, right?
Yep. Every time.
You want to go at him a little harder.
Yeah, you want to get a little reaction out of someone, and that's the guy to go for.
What was the typical, let me, say on the bus ride and you guys are cruising up, you're in Cali. What would a typical meal be? What was the go-to meal on the bus?
It was kind of just whatever the coach got. It was usually sandwiches. I think I ate like out of 50 games, I probably ate like 100 sandwiches. for the game days. I mean, they get a little boring after a while, but like it's a free sandwich. Like you're not gonna say no to it. You know, you're gonna eat it anyways.
That's a good point. It's fuel for you, right? Now you're going to have your choice, though, man. You're going to be able to fuel up and snack on, whatever you want, and you're going to have pregame rituals and everything. What will be your go-to? Are you a gum guy? Are you a seed guy? You smoke cigars or so? What's your go-to for your snack or for your fuel up?
Is it like a start day or like am I just chilling on the bench?
Let's do both.
Okay, start day. I don't really eat breakfast because I don't know, my stomach kind of turns, So
Yep, I'm the same way, man.
yeah, I get that like I don't know, like ready to go to war type.
Yep. But you're talking on a game day for sure.
Yeah. So I won't really eat breakfast, and depending on what time the game is, I'll have like a light lunch or. I mean, if it's a 1 o'clock game, I'll just have a little snack before the game.
Okay. You won't even eat then. You won't fuel up.
Yeah, no. But I'll drink a coffee in the morning, get to the field like 3 hours before, just chill, kind of prepare. 2 hours, I'll put on my uniform, like no jersey, just like the undershirts, and then I'll go to the trainer like an hour before. I'm playing catch 45 minutes before the game starts, bullpen 15 minutes before, and then sit down in the dugout like 2 minutes before. But I don't, like, to be honest, I don't really eat on like a game day. I eat after because my adrenaline's so high and I can't sleep very well after.
Okay.
Like I'll be going to sleep real late. But I mean, on a non-game day, if I'm just chilling on the bench, go to probably like a breakfast sandwich, like a bacon breakfast sandwich, sourdough.
Right on. So that's super interesting, though. So you're saying a 1 o'clock game, because I don't eat breakfast either. I'm just that type of dude, and I'm like you. I'll have a coffee, whatever. But I'm not throwing what you're throwing. Will you? I mean, you got to have something, right? Like an apple or something. Yeah.
I mean, I'll have like a smoothie because it's easy to put down.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But like actual food, like not really.
It's interesting, man. And I think, the old myth that I think our parents, before your parents, told everybody breakfast being the most important meal of the day. And that's kind of gone by the wayside because it's not, and you can do all the research you want. And they've actually found, with all this intermediate fasting and all of this stuff, there's people who will not eat from 6 o'clock in the evening until after game day.
Yeah, my dad is actually that way. Like,
okay,
he does a lot of fasting. So I'm not saying I got the not eating breakfast from him because those guys where breakfast is the most important meal,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where did that ever come from? Who made that up? Probably the cereal box companies or something, man. Like, the bacon companies, like Bob Evans or something.
An agenda for the breakfast people.
Yeah, exactly, man. Did your dad play ball? Anybody in the family play ball?
No, I was the first one to play ball. My dad played a little football. My mom played a little racquetball. So
okay,
got a little bit of athleticism from him.
Do you play racquetball?
No, I don't play. I didn't play racquetball or football.
Have you ever played racquetball?
Nope.
Oh, it's fun, man. It's fun in there.
Yeah, I can imagine. I see him all the time in the gym, just hitting the ball back and forth. Usually,
you just mentioning racquetball is the first time. Like I used to play, and I'm in Buffalo, New York, and right now I look outside, man. We got 2 feet of snow outside. It's ridiculous. We've had snow for a month.
Yeah.
But racquetball was like my go-to, and just hearing you say that, I was like, oh my god, man, where's racquetball been? Because I haven't played. You sweat like an animal. Like you get out of that racquetball cubicle, right? And there's no air in there. Somebody rips one in there or something, you're done, man. Forget it. That's like the guy on the bus thing, like you're done. Yeah. But you sweat and you're just nonstop going. And your mom, she should get you out there and you should play a little bit because you want to talk about conditioning. It's
play great. A little bit of pickleball, kind of the same thing, but
yeah, it's fun too.
Yeah, a little more easy to get out there and play on a random court.
What do you do as far as, I guess for other sports when you're not playing baseball? Like what is your favorite? What's your go-to? What are your other teams that you're into?
Oh, growing up, I played basketball and soccer.
Okay.
And then once I got to high school, I stopped.
How tall are you, bro?
I'm 6'1".
Okay. Go ahead.
When I got out of middle school, I stopped playing both sports, kind of just focused on baseball. But I still love basketball. Soccer, I mean, it's cool too, but probably basketball is my second favorite sport. But my teams are a little weird. They're all over the country. I got Dodgers, obviously, Lakers, and then I got Steelers for football.
Steelers. All right, talk to me. I need to hear this story.
So, I mean, my dad's a Steelers fan. I grew up watching Big Ben win a World Series, the Super Bowl. So it's kind of what about how about those Bills?
Listen, man.
They're ever going to get the Chiefs?
You had to go there. It's too fresh of a wound, bro.
Yeah.
Listen, we really thought it was the year. And the first thing you hear from like kind of an uneducated Bills fan when you walk into work the next day or you listen to the radio is the refs, right? Everybody was against the ref. The refs are on the Yes, the game wasn't called that great, and it does seem to be like everything leans in the Chiefs' favor, right? There was a couple questionable things, right? I mean, did you watch the game?
Yeah, that ball marker one was a little
Ball
shaky.
marker one. What was worse than that, Jacob, was the catch that came down. That thing, it wasn't neither one of them caught the ball. It hit the ground.
The one that the dude almost intercepted, right?
Yeah. So
and the receiver came down with one arm.
Yeah. So when they challenged it, they challenged who caught it, but it was never a catch. I mean, the ball hit the ground. Even like, Romo was going, they were all going wild because nobody caught the ball. But those plays, I don't think people realize, man, one play in a game, is so crucial.
Yeah, that's got to be your guys' rival now. Has to be.
It's worse than our rival. It's our kryptonite.
Yeah, it's brutal.
It's our kryptonite.
You guys will get it. You guys will get it. You guys.
Thank you. I like the optimism.
Yeah, you guys got a good quarterback. We're looking for one.
So where are you at in Cali? Where's home?
St. Louis. So in between LA and the Bay.
Okay.
So 4 hours either way.
Okay. All right.
I mean, I always say it's like Hawaii, but in California.
Okay. And you guys safe from all the fires and everything?
Yeah, we're good. When I go to Arizona, I have to drive through, and it's brutal over there. But
how has it been for you yet? Did you go to camp at all? What, like when you initially went drafted? Did you go there in January at all yet?
Yeah, so I got drafted and I went to the little draft camp for a few months.
Okay.
Came back for 2 weeks and then back out there until, when was it? Probably like the middle of November.
Okay.
And then got some time.
So you've been back and forth a few times.
Yeah, so then back at home for a little bit, and then I just came back from a 2-week stay for like instead of the instructional league, we just got like an instruct camp now, I guess. So I just got back from that, and then on February 20th, I got to be back. But
February 20th, you're heading back?
Yeah, but I'll probably go out there a few days in advance, kind of get my feet settled.
Do they set you up in a dorm or with Airbnb, or how do they do it?
Yeah, so it's all different based on what you want to do. I mean, if you don't want to go out of your way to find an Airbnb, you can just stay in the hotel. I mean, a lot of guys do that, but we got like 2-3 guys to stay in the Airbnb to split the rent. Me personally, I think it's a lot better than the hotel.
Yeah. Well, it gives you a little more freedom, right? I mean, it's more like a home,
Yeah, for
where
sure.
you don't feel like you're living out of a suitcase. So, yeah, that makes sense. And then have they given you any indication of kind of the blueprint or what their expectations are from you when you start, February 20th, when you get there? I guess give the people a little bit of insight, as to when you're drafted. When the Dodgers say, okay, come down, February 20th, the camps are done, right? The velo, now they want you, this is training. We try to make a rotation, regardless of where you end up, whether it's high A, low A, triple A, or with the Dodgers rotation, bro. So have they given you any indication of where you're going to be or what they want from you?
So I don't really know where I'm going to start yet, but as to what they want from me, kind of just improving the changeup, getting it more like consistent. And then, I mean, as all pitchers probably in this era, just throw harder. That's really all it is. I mean, execute a game plan. But right now at this level, probably just increasing my quote unquote stuff.
Yeah.
And then learning how to pitch with that as a.
I know. I love that you said that too. Are you sick of people calling it stuff?
Yeah. I mean,
we need a new name. We need a new name for it.
Yeah.
But it's like an old dorky term now, like old people, like, oh, it's stuff. Like we got to start calling it something else. And I love that you're a cool dude, man. Because you like same as me. Like you hear certain words and you're like, you cringe, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna use it anyways because that's what people call it. But
you got to use it. You got to use it. But especially like the scouts and the older managers, they're all going to use it.
Yeah. It's just the baseball terms. It's just how it is.
We're going to come up with something different, I think.
Yeah,
and it's going to stick. Like we might change it nationally. I think Jacob and D-Money here, we're going to change. Yeah, so I'm not quite sure what it is, and I'll run it by you, but we're going to switch it up.
Yeah, we'll get in the lab. We'll cook something up.
Yeah, we're going to cook it up, man. This was fun, dude. You're definitely a good guy.
Thanks for having me. Had a good time.
Yeah, take care, man.